Hey, aroma connoisseurs. So, I think I posted that I will be making a collab with Bronx Witch, right? And I'm doing a blend for them. So, since we're going into the winter and it's going to be the fall, autumn equinox, right? I wanted to do the blend inspired by that. So, I picked out my oils, right? And then now I'm going to decide the top note, middle notes, etc. And now I should know that off my head. I mean, I could kind of guess the top notes, right? They're usually, I guess, the more floral or citrus ones. But I'm gonna, of course, make sure and do my research and put my stuff together. But I just wanted to come and, update you guys to see in the process of where I am of deciding the oils. So I do have several. Of course, the major oil that I love is my rose essential oil, because that helps me a lot. And that is a good oil for this blend because the rose, of course, the fall time, I don't know if you suffer from seasonal depression. I can't really say I suffer from seasonal depression per se. I would just really say that in the fall I do get a little bit of melancholy-ish. And then I was like looking up some stuff because I'm trying to merge astrology and aromatherapy. So I've been like, kind of researching more on that. So of course the rose represents, Venus, that's a Venus oil. The Lang Ylang also, I want to put in there, that's a Venus oil. So my research has put me into this direction, right? So these are my inspiration. First of all, it's autumn equinox, so that's the big thing. So looking into that, I found, what is that? The 4 humors, right? And so the humor for fall, autumn is earth, and the temperament is melancholy. So I was just like, okay, knowing that. And then I was like, okay, well, the opposite of earth is fire, right? So I'm trying to put those two together because you want to be whole, right? We're doing holistic health. So we want to, if we're going to look at one part, we have to look at the other. And also, to blend synergistically, I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I have a couple of oils. Because earth signs, astrology, right? Earth signs are ruled by mainly Venus. You have Taurus and you have Libra. No, Libra is not an earth sign, but that is ruled by Venus. And you have Virgo, which is a air. No, Virgo is a. Please, sometimes I'm slow. So Virgo is the earth. Libra is the air sign, but Libra is ruled by Venus. So I did take out those oils, but the oils forgot which oils were for Virgo. But the lavender was for Libra. The Taurus was the rose. And then all the other oils that have some orange, some Lang Ylang, which is also with the Venus aspect. Rosemary is with the Mercury aspect in Virgo, right? Then let's see. I think the frankincense, orange, the bergamot, I think these oils are, and the benzoin, I think, are all sun. So these are all the fire, earth and fire. And then I have the air. So I have a little bit of air, right, with the rosemary. I think personally it's going to be a good combination. It's a lot of oils. I was going to try to maybe make 2 blends, right? And then see which one smells the best. And then I'll choose from that one. Choose it like that. I'm not going to make the blends today. Or maybe I'll make them. No, I think I'm going to do some more research. And then I'll put something together. Then after that, I'll put something together. But that's the update. That's where I'm at with this for the fall equinox. So stay tuned with that. I'm trying to get Bronx Witch to come on and say hi to you guys. And then maybe she will have some, they'll have some tips and inspiration for you. But I would like for you guys to also, if you're into this as well, you want to blend something for the fall, I would say this is more like an emotional, psycho spiritual type blend that I'm digging into. I want to say earth and fire, right? I want to say going into the winter season, you want to be grounded, but then you also want to uplift your spirit, right? You want to still feel kind of like the sun in a way. But then I was looking into Libra, and Libra is pretty much like, the balancing aspect, right? So I like the lavender because lavender is like such a versatile oil, and it just balances everything, right? In most blends. So I actually really found that interesting about the Libra aspect. So that's also what I'm trying to carry into the blend as well. And then I know with the fall, it also, Persephone. So, and then also with the Libra aspect, right? And then also with the Virgo aspect. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper and see what's the difference. Because Virgo is also the type of sign that likes to prepare, right? And Libra is also the type of sign that likes to prepare. So I want to see the different aspect, the psychological aspect of their preparation, of why they move the way they do, because we know Virgos as being meticulous, right? I want to use that word. And then Libras are supposed to be the scales and balance everything. But both of those aspects could be positive and negative. But in the case of Libra and Virgo, right? I'm thinking, well, one, I was inspired by the fact that they prepare. So now we're in August. We're about to move into Virgo. And then by the time we move into Virgo, we're going to be in fall. So that's kind of like their MO, mode of operation, right? Their MO, that's how they move, both sides. Like they prepare ahead so that way they don't have to face, from what I read from my little books that I was reading, kind of like that's a part of their defense mechanism. So that way they don't, put themselves in situations emotionally that they can't handle. So Libra try to balance the scales by preparing. And I'm going to read some more. Not even read some more. I mean, I did take notes, but I don't have my notes with me. But when I come back on, I'm going to probably talk some more about these aspects. But I want to put in your mind about the preparation, right? About how these signs, the both signs, Libra and Virgo. So as we're moving into this season, and this is the inspiration, I want to kind of keep that in the back of my mind. Like, okay, we all know going into winter time, maybe some of us, this is our season where we will get jolly and happy. But for the most of us, it's kind of like the opposite. We kind of like tend to go in, which is kind of like, I mean, if we're looking at how the season, right? The season is telling us to go in because that's technically what all the plants do, and that's what all the animals do. They go find another, they find their holes or they find their homes and go in and, to ready to come back out and bloom in the summertime. So that's the kind of focus of digging in, bringing it out, right, and letting it go. So the rose, what I read about rose essential oil was that it helps to, and rosemary, right? Rosemary helps you to your memory and concentration, but rose also brings emotions to the surface. Now, of course, a lot of us don't want to bring emotions to the surface. We would rather kind of like dwell, like, that's not in existence. But that's not real, and that's not reality. And I think even, I have a video on right now, and somebody, sometimes you guys could come online and say, I really realize that. I mean, of course, I used to do this too. I come online and say some things, right? And then, of course, we don't check ourselves and we don't really realize that those things that we're saying are really just from an emotional place, not even from a place of truth. Um, so, right. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, these people, even with myself, when I get emotional about or triggered about something, it's like, yeah, you need to deal with your emotions, right? So, essential oils, whether or not, we could all say, because to some degree we could say they're placebo or whatever. But what is real is that I know most people face some type of emotional issue, right? And so even if it's just something in your mind to aid you, I mean, to me personally, I love rose because I don't know, it smells good and I feel good when I smell it, and it just, I mean, when I'm feeling really emotional, this is the oil that I'll just sniff. I use it in my face lotion. I use it in some of my body lotions. But I know it's not a strong oil, so I don't really, I would have to put a lot in my lotion for me to like really be like, yeah, I like this. I'm kind of like that. So I tend to use other oils that I know, like I'll put a little bit and I'll smell it versus with the rose, depending on also what you're mixing it in. Of course, the scent might be diluted based on, whatever you're mixing it in. But yeah, I want to move into the fall in a positive way. I think like Virgo and Venus, planning ahead, planning for, those emotional things, because we don't even know what will happen. We just kind of, I mean, I anticipate, I'm already getting nervous and anxious. It's not even the wintertime. Today's a little bit chilly outside and I'm like, already like, okay, I'm, anticipating the anxieties that take place during the wintertime, right? So that's really just what we're doing. I mean, that's the inspiration. That's what I learned from reading about, trying to come up with the inspiration for this oil, trying to come up with something that makes sense and not just, oh, I like, these oils, so I'll just blend them. And then, of course, Persephone comes into the picture. I didn't mention that too much because she goes into the underworld, but that's not really what I focused on. I think the oil, because I looked into Pluto, so the oil for Pluto, I think I don't even have that oil. I think it was like cypress or something. Yeah, so then I think I did look up some other stuff, but whatever. Yeah, so I want you guys to be inspired too and create an oil yourself. Create a blend or blend with me and let me know what you think about the scent. I'm definitely going to put that on. Don't follow me and try to spin your stuff around. Trying to be all cool. But yeah, blend with me and let me know what you think. I'm going to learn the profiles of these oils, learn their notes, put them together, and I'll let you know. But I want you to also do something with me too, like so that way you could give me some feedback. Did you like the scent or did you not? Do you have these oils? Maybe you want to blend something else for the season. Maybe you could do that too. Because I don't really have a lot of spice oils, and I know during the winter season, that's the kind of oils that are used, right? But I don't have some, so I'm going to use what I have, and so do you. So if you don't have some of the oils that I have, then, use the oils that you have and come up with something that's inspiring for the winter time. But otherwise, I think, hopefully, by the end of this week, I'll make another video. I should, because I want the blend to steep and synergize. So I do have to make it soon because it's next month. And, of course, you guys are invited to the event. So keep that in mind. If you're in New York City, it's going to be in the Bronx. So go to Bronx Witch HQ, right, at Bronx Witch HQ on Instagram, and you'll find more information. I'll keep posted, and I'll post more information. Otherwise, drop a comment. What do you think about these oils? I've listed a few of them that I'm planning to maybe put together. I know a lot of them are probably on the base note scale. Um, and maybe they don't match together. So I gotta figure all that out and then I'll come back to you. Ciao!